Hey y'all, Dennis here, Muddy Water Search and Recovery, and I want to talk a little bit about the Aaron Shane Key case. This is a case out of Tennessee. His death was ruled a suicide. I am among a lot of people who do not believe this was a suicide. And I had mentioned that his mother, Lisa, was going to join me on a podcast episode. We did record that the other day, and going back and listening to it, being who I feel is involved in Aaron's death, circumstances surrounding it, corruption, cover-ups, etc., I felt that there was a lot of things in that podcast that should not be shared publicly. Number one, just for safety concern that I have for Lisa. The podcast did get very detailed. So just out of her safety, I'm not going to release that whole podcast. I will be doing a YouTube video this week for sure by the end of the weekend, to where I do discuss a lot that we talked about on the podcast, but there's a lot that I'm not comfortable sharing. I hope you understand. I've got to look at the safety of other people when it comes to these, and I just feel that it will be a lot safer, especially for Lisa, to not get that out here publicly right now. That doesn't mean it won't become public at some point, but right now that's where we're going to stand on this. Lisa admits, Aaron wasn't your perfect angel. And, he fought his demons, but the thing is he fought them and continued to fight those. And he had a very honest, open relationship with his mom and talked to her about everything. And if you have that kind of a relationship with your mother, that tells me you're not a bad person. Simply because if you are a bad person, you're not going to be able to look your mom in the eye and talk to her about anything. If you're able to do that, there is a lot of good inside of you. And I think Aaron was a good guy. Yes, he may have made some mistakes. Which one of us hasn't? We've all made mistakes. But we will be digging deeper into this case, and we'll be sharing with you guys a lot of the conversation from that podcast episode that we're not going to actually air, but we will share a lot of that information with you. And this, it makes me want to get down there quicker and work on I'll put it like this. I do believe that several of these cases are possibly linked, at least with people that are involved, cover-ups, corruption, etc. And outside of the FBI getting involved in these cases, I am starting to think the best route to go would be to try to recover one of them that is missing, specifically like Joshua Bohannon, possibly even Caitlin Ledbetter. I do plan on doing searches on both of them, but if we can locate Joshua, I think that may help open the door for outside agencies to step in and take over the investigation. That is my hope. And, we'll dig into this a little bit further on our next episode. But for now, our thoughts and prayers are with Lisa. Please be sending her your thoughts and prayers. This was her son. And hearing her story on this, and I'm sure there's a whole lot more that I don't know yet, but hearing her story on this, I don't even know how to comment on it. Answers need to be found. Justice needs to be served in a court of law. And, this family needs closure. And they're not going to get closure without help. And that is where all of you come into play as well. Because we could all be digging into this case, learning everything we can, getting these cases out in the public eye, getting the attention nationwide focused on these cases to the point that they've got no choice but to step in. The FBI would have no choice but to step in, take over this case, and hopefully clean house. So with that, we will have the episode coming out over the next several days. Until then, you guys stay safe, and let's continue to fight and see what we can do to find answers.